Wow, are you awake and ready for a radical new video by It Came From the Page? No, I'm sleeping. Well, too bad, because you're about to get one. Hello and welcome to another episode of It Came From a Page. Not any page, the page, the page. Today, we are talking about something that nobody talks about. I mean, someone probably does, but I haven't heard about it on the booktube. And that is... Excuse... This is where the cats lay. That's why it's a disgusting looking pillow. Ignore it. Ignore me! This is a video about book spines and some of my favorite book spines. I feel like everyone talks about book covers, but a lot of times people don't talk about book spines. And when you think about it, what you're mainly looking at when you look at a book on a shelf is the spine. And a spine can actually tell you a lot about the book. Now, this series of shelves are basically my tie-in shelves. Normally, tie-ins don't really do too much interesting with their, their choices for like side covers. As you can see, like the only things that are really notable is when something is labeled as aliens instead of alien. You can see the I is taking after the I in Aliens. And the Predator books have a really cool... They all have the very similar like font choice for the word Predator. And they all seem to be in slightly different colors, which is kind of cool. And what's really interesting is when you get into the combination of the two, Aliens versus Predator, they are using both the Aliens font and mixing it with the Predator font, which is actually kind of pretty cool. But other than that, like, you don't get too much interesting stuff when it comes to tie-ins and novelizations and things of that ilk, utilizing a interesting spine choice. I mean, you can kind of learn a little bit of history from the spines, like consider the Halo books. So originally the Halo books were released under this, they were really kind of like touted as being Xbox, and then they moved from Del Rey to Tor, and then they moved from Tor to Gallery. So like you can kind of see the evolution towards like publishers and things of that nature. Like, as you can see, like the Alien books have like, Bantam, and then there's Dark Horse, and then this one's Harper, but like then there's Dark Horse, and then of course now, which has the license, is Titan Books. So you can kind of learn a little bit through that realm, but other than that, it is kind of ho-hum. Same with novelizations. Like they don't really do too much with their the spine choices. You kind of know what you're going to get. Now, that's not for all of them though, because I do think that some novelizations and tie-ins have cool extra elements to their designs. And my favorite are these Star Wars books. So this is a trilogy of books called the Jedi Academy Trilogy. I've never read the book, but I would like to read them one of these days. But these are all by Kevin J. Anderson, and there's all in this trilogy. And what's cool about the spines is that it's wraparounds, but when you put it out but when you put it down here, it just looks like it's just about, Lando or Chewbacca. And there's another one in the series that is Admiral Akbar. So like I think that's cool when it's like a wraparound spine. That is really interesting, and it looks better because most spines, when they are, showcasing an image on the spine, so say The Further Adventures of Batman Volume 2. Well, that's really just an image from the cover. That's really just kind of a specific image cropped in from the main cover of the book. So it's nothing new or original, whereas this one is kind of cool, the Fear itself, because this is a wraparound cover. So, it works well when you're reading it and you have the full experience folded out. Another thing I really like about looking at spines is the images for the publishing companies. You can kind of see how they've changed over the years if you have a whole bunch of books in similar publishing lines. So my favorite is the Tor Horror Dragon. I love the Tor Horror Dragon. He's so cool. I just like him. He's Tor Horror Dragon. That's my favorite. It's much better than what we get nowadays, which is just this lame-ass mountain. It's like, go, give me my dragon back. I don't want to see the mountain. But yeah, so like those are kind of cool, but like, they're okay, whatevs. The really cool spines are things like this. Oh yeah. This is like a gold It's got like this gold sheen to it, and it like reflects, and it looks so good. And like, see, this is not even from the cover at all. Like, this is all original for the back, for the spine of the book artwork, and I just love it. So that is a really cool one as well. Two other covers that I just love are another tie like wraparound covers, and I think these might just kind of be my favorite type of covers. But this one for Nightlife, this pinnacle horror book where it's like you open it up, but like when it's on the shelf, it's just like this eye staring at you, so it like immediately like captures your attention, and it's like this vampire face. And then this one, which is, I honestly, I don't know why, but I always consider this my favorite book cover of all time. It's just like, I love it. And like the spine has like these fallen leaves, so it really gives off the vibe of fall. So I really do love these wraparound covers. And a minor tangent as we're getting into the next part of me showcasing some of my favorite spines. The real bane of every collector's existence nowadays is the thrift book sticker, or whatever sticker like a company that's selling a novel puts upon their book to put it into inventory. And then they send it to you, you have to kind of take it off. And it always, almost always, especially in these older covers, it takes off part of the paint and it takes off part of the covers. Some come off better than others, but a lot of times you get something like this, where you get a completely, otherwise a pretty good looking cover to have a big old splotchy white spot on it, because that's where they put the sticker. And especially when you're trying to collect older books, you oftentimes have to go to a place like thrift books, and it just is kind of disappointing. Another one now that can be either a bonus or a minus depending on who you are. Now the library ones. Now it makes more sense with the libraries to have it and getting old library copies. It's I don't mind the spine, and I actually think it improves the spine sometimes, because like I love the fact that there's like a little. This Frankenstein collection, short story collection I have, used to be a library book, and back in the day they had cool little images for their library shelving system. So I really actually kind of think that this actually improves the book, having this cute little Dracula there to say, "Oh, it's a horror book." But yeah, those freaking thrift books and other places that sell books online, when they put something on the cover and you try to take the sticker off and it ruins the spine, you are going to see that and think about that all the freaking time. Now, when you get to, talking about, artwork that are on spines, it really is kind of dependent on the size of the book. So small little novellas, you don't have a lot of space or time or elements to, be creative with your spine work. But in some of these bigger books and these bigger series, you can really go all out. And that's why I think that this is my favorite of any spine artwork. I love it. Now, technically this is just an image from the front of the book, but the way that you really get the full element of the imposing figure of this elf on this cover, because it is so large that it really kind of enhances and really makes it kind of stand out with all of the others. There is not a whole lot to say other than, the larger the book, the cooler looking the spine can be. Even though they are using elements that I said I wasn't always a fan of, where it's just an element that is the same as the cover image. But the larger the book gets, the cooler that ends up being. So, you can actually see Gotrek and Felix there. You can see this dude with the Gurn. And, you get a better sense of, life to the book with these really cool, larger examples. So, yeah. This is just a little thing to say. I love spines. I love a good spine. Spines be cool. Spines be awesome. And there are certain things I think of when I see certain spines. Like if I see a book that looks like this, I think of an old school fancy book. I think this is a fancy book, even though it is kind of a Kind of a semi-trashy horror anthology because it is all of short stories that were picked out by not Vincent Bright, Boris Karloff. Um, so it's all Boris Karloff's favorite horror short stories, which is just kind of cool. But yeah, it's not it's not an overly classy book, but because of the way that we designed books back in the day, you really do kind of get this image of it being a more like quality book, a quality book, which I think is just kind of funny. So, what are some of your favorite spines? Do you have favorite, little logos? Like, the Delabist logo is pretty great. I don't know why, but the Delabist logo is pretty cool. But what are your favorite logos? What are your favorite spines? Do you have different preferences? Are you somebody who just likes a very simple, no extra beans to the spine? It's just the word. It's just the word. Although this one looks cool. This is a pretty awesome one. But I would be interested to hear what other people prefer in their spines. And I hope you enjoyed this. And, give your fellow graphic designers a little love. If someone tells you they're a graphic designer, be like, thank you for these amazing spines. Where's the spine world? Okay, talk to you later. Toodaloo.